I'm finally back home. I'm in my room. I'm in New York. Feels nice to just kind of sit down and have something prepared to talk about. The last 30 days have been a lot of traveling. I stopped in Tokyo for about 2 hours, spent 5 days in Thailand, spent about 2 weeks back home in California. Did just a little bit of raving, under great weather conditions. But it's good to sit back and reflect and think about the decisions that you've made, the experiences that you had in the year of 2022, and that's going to be a topic that I want to look into. So something that I want to reflect on in 2022, gonna make it a little different. I'm going to talk about money. This is going to be a 2-part series centered around the raves and festivals that I attended in the past year. I'm going to cover part 1. It revolves around the amount that I spent and invested on this. Raves and festivals are expensive. They're time-consuming. They are mentally and emotionally draining. I lose my hearing sucks. And when you go to a lot of raves and you go to a lot of festivals, individually, they don't seem too expensive. But when it all adds up within a 12-month period, I haven't calculated that yet. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go month by month, do a bit of a monthly expense, and just kind of talk a little bit about that journey and talk a little bit about that spending. There isn't going to be much to talk about the spending. They were mostly impulse purchases. So in January, I went to 2 raves, or actually, I spent money on 2 raves because I never went to Millennium in DC because I had COVID and I couldn't get the refund. February, I had 2 different friends from New York and DC respectively ask if I wanted to go to Dabin. If I had to compare the 2 Dabin concerts, they were quite identical. So March is where it gets a little bit more expensive. Sorry, my iPhone said it was full. I had to spend 10 minutes uncluttering my fucking storage. What was I saying? Oh, festivals. That was the first festival I went to that year. Ultra is known as kind of the opening of the festival seasons in EDM, but before I went to Ultra, I went to Epic High. It's a Korean K-pop group. It's not EDM, but for some reason I felt like adding it. But 2 Cuts is a DJ, so in essence, they do fit. There's not much to talk about Ultra Music Festival in Miami. Somewhere, I did a video and I calculated the full cost of that trip for me solo running. So I'm not really hurt on the inside by the total cost because I already kind of know what it is. April is basically I redeemed myself from not going to or not being able to go to Millennium. And I went to a 2-day Millennium event. That rave was one of the first where I intended to travel with friends, and then I ended up meeting more friends there. So it was amazing. I had a great time there. And then a week later, I went to Project Low. I purchased a 2-day ticket, but I only went 1 day because of my business trip. I could have saved some money there. And then after Project Glow, which was on May 1st, I didn't really go to a rave until mid-June because everyone was trying to bait me to go to EDC Vegas. And EDC Vegas is incredibly expensive, especially if you're trying to go at the last minute. So I called up my friend from Korea and we ended up going to Turkey, which was also very expensive. But June, I could not find how much I spent on Quintino, which I want to believe that I was just on a guest list and I got him for free. Because Harbor is not a huge venue. July is where I experienced a lot of firsts. My first boat rave, my first time going to Brooklyn Mirage. The LEDs there is absolutely incredible. The highlight of July was my Vegas trip with Rachel and her friends. So it was my first Vegas clubs, first day swim, And my first night swim with Lenium, who just did a 2.5-hour fucking set, and I was like 10 cocktails in, and shit was fun. And then a week after Vegas, I headed down back to my old Baltimore house. It was Moonrise Festival. Had a great lineup. I went 2 days. We had a very, very huge group that we pre-gamed with and that we had a great time with. Gosh, the after party for Griffin is the same price as the Griffin ticket. I do want to mention this one thing. I don't really shout out the DJs here. If you have a chance to go to Odessa when they release a new album in like 4 years, that was unlike any fucking performance I've ever seen in my life. So I typically don't do after parties or pre-parties anymore for Electric Zoo. I only bought a Sunday ticket, and like a smidge percent of going on Sunday was because I really like Afrojack, and I saw Afrojack was gonna go Sunday, but somewhere before Izu, Afrojack moved into the Saturday lineup, and because of that, I got kind of impulsive and I bought his after party ticket for Friday. $86 fucking dollars. After Izu, I slowed it down a little bit. There was a weekend where Rachel was at her business trip and I had nothing to do because when I'm by myself, I guess I don't know what to do anymore. So I just went to a bunch of raves with anyone I could find with in New York, and that was it. Oh, I forgot about Countdown. I think one thing I like about festivals over like those raves is that I get to see a lot of different DJs that I normally would not intend to purchase a ticket for if they were headlining a rave. And the turn of 2023, I was raving at a festival, which was what I thought I would be doing the year before, but you know, I'm glad I was able to make it right this year. All right, so I've never calculated how much I spent this past year. Let's figure this out. $4,653.21. Music that I could probably listen to on Spotify. You know, part of me wants to say that's not that bad. If I had no other interests outside of work, I feel like that is not too much money on investing on your interests. But I've also traveled to Europe and Asia this past year, so I'm a little deep right now. And I know there are people that go to a lot more festivals than I do and invest a lot more than I do. A lot of them might say, hey, this is nothing compared to the amount that I spend on raves. We should start saving. So I want to thank you everyone for watching a video about my personal finances on electric dance music. I wore this sweater that I tried looking like a finance bro. I'm actually pretty illiterate financially, but I'm getting to work right now on part 2 of reflecting on my EDM journey in 2022. This one's going to be a lot more fun and a lot more design related and a lot more coordination than just looking at my Amex spreadsheet. I'm gonna go have rice and beans now because I don't have any money now.